First of a 10-part video series outlining the features of ApexVol and to support you in being able to navigate the site and use the site to suit your needs. We'll get straight into it. So we're going to go through the dashboard, which involves the dashboard, the option chain, the price chart, the strategy and risk section, and the vol table. So we have here preloaded Tesla. We have some information of Tesla across the top here. So we have the stock price, the change on the open in dollar amount and percentage, market cap, the sector it's in, the beta, the historical vol, the at the money IV. We have the earnings date and the 30-day implied move. Now, because this platform is term specific, we have the expirations at the top here. So this is the first option you have to change. So at the minute we are loaded for Jan 9th expiration. If we want to push that out to Jan 16th, we click that and you can see the dashboard updates with that information. So if we keep on Jan 23rd, we'll explore this volatility section within the dashboard. So at the top here, we have a generic 30-day historical vol versus 30-day implied vol chart. This takes into account the 30-day at the money annualized implied vol. So this does not change. This is not term specific. This is 30-day historical versus 30-day implied vol. The historical returns distribution here, this is term specific. So we can see we have a look back window here. This is set to 100 days to encapsulate the previous earnings cycle. However, we can change this to be 252, or you can change it to be 50. You can change it to be whatever cycle you want to look at. So we keep it at 100. We can see the average move here is 10.12%. Now, what does this mean? This means for the Jan 23rd expiration, which is in 18 days time, the average move historically has been 10.12%. This changes as we go into different expirations. So the weekly, with 4 days to go, the average move has been 4.33% per week. Now we'll change this back to Jan 23rd. We can see the implied move is 7.04%. So this is the implied move of the at the money straddle. And we can see again, this changes. It reduces for a closer term expiration, and it will obviously increase further out we go. The assessment, therefore, is cheap because the implied is less than the average move. The IV rank is 33 and the IV percentile is 16. Now this is within the look back period. So if you want to change the look back, it will also update the IV rank for you as well. And then we also have this within implied. Now what this means is, this is essentially stating how often does the actual move fall within the implied move. So 48% of the time over the past 252 trading days, the Tesla 18 days to go has fallen within the implied 48% of the time. So we can see this via this histogram chart here. So if you're trading, let's say if you want to be in the money 80% of the time, you can move up this here to where it says cumulative sum. So you can see the cumulative here, the 80% is roughly a 20.6% move. So if you want to be right, theoretically 80% of the time, you would have to factor in a move of about 20.6% over the course of the term. Again, this changes for different terms that we're in. So if you want to be 80% right with 2 weeks to go, not 3, which is roughly here, you need to factor in a 14% move. We then have in the dashboard the volatility smile, which shows the IV of the calls and puts. So if we see a generic smile, we know that the out of the money calls and puts are priced higher than the at the money. And then we have the term structure here, which will obviously always go up because of time decay. So the 4-day IV is 3.5%, and the 893-day IV is 66.9%. We'll now move into the option chain. So this is where the option chain is housed within ApexVol. So we have here the bid, the ask, delta, gamma, theta, vega. We have the IV, we have the IVX, we have the volume, and we have the open interest. Now, just to give a bit of a brief on what this shows, The open interest shows the total open contracts at strike level. The volume shows the contracts traded today. The IVX is the move from the mid price for the current strike. So if you have a $455 strike, the IVX against the 455 is roughly 1.97%. The delta is the option move per $1 stock move. Gamma is obviously the rate of change of delta. Theta is the daily time decay. Vega is the sensitivity to IV changes, and then the bid and ask being the price to sell and the price to buy, respectively. So we can also see this as a heat map. So we can see if there are mispricings across the chain. You can toggle this view here to show it as a heat map. And we can also see this filter here. So you're able to change if you want to see in the monies, out of the monies. If you want to see only 10 strikes or 15, you can also filter that there as well. Next, we'll go to the price chart. Now, the price chart is linked to the volatility section. So whatever number you put into this look back days, that will reflect within this price chart here. So you can see we've got 252 days selected. If we go back here and we change this to 100, the price chart will only show the previous 100 days as well. So very basic chart, however, it helps to understand where the stock price has been. We then have this strategy and risk page. So this, within this, you can click an option here. So we can click, we want to sell the, let's sell the 480 call. And this will populate here. So the 480 call, we need to remove these from where it was previously at. So we have the 480 call here that we've sold. The max profit is 445, obviously max loss is unlimited. And we have the break even there at 484.45 because we've sold the strike at 445. We then have this price probability distribution. So this helps to visualize your at expiration where your profit zones and the loss zones are in relation to the standard deviation of the stock move. And you also have this P&L at expiration here to help visualize at expiry what your stock position, what the option position will do. Lastly, within this, we have the vol table. This is it's quite a good table in my opinion. It's very intuitive, and it helps to show where strikes are across different expirations at different delta points. So the way we read this is for the 4-day to expiration, the calls and the puts, the at the money calls and puts are priced at 8.85 mid price and 7.90 mid price calls and puts respectively. As we go further out in time, we can see those prices increase at the money, but we can also see side by side here where the 15 deltas are. So 15 delta calls are at 144 and the puts at 166. So the strangle there will be trading for $3.10 ish, give or take. And then we have the 25 delta calls and puts here and the 35 delta calls and puts. We can also split this to show we're at the minute we're grouped by delta. We can group this by percentage from at the money, and this will show where the up and down 5% calls and puts are. Again, 10% up down calls and puts, and then 15 and 20%. So it helps you see it across the term relating to days to expiration, but it also helps you see it across the specific option chain. We can also show where the theta is, so what the theta is across the option chain, also split by expiry, and Vega as well. So we can see the premium prices, we can see theta, and we can see Vega across this here. One other feature which is present across all pages is the ability to open the option chain from the bottom of the site here. So if you're in the dashboard or in the volatility section of the dashboard, and you're looking here to see where is where are we? 11 days out, and I want to be 80% right. So we can say the 11.1% move historically falls 80% of the time out of the money. So I can load this option chain here. I can match my expirations there, and I can scroll down to see the 11% calls here are the 505s, which are trading for 129, 130. So it's a cool feature to pull up the option chain at any page of the app, which just helps you visualize the option chain at the data points you're looking at. So that's the dashboard, that's the option chain. In the next video, we'll go through the Greeks heat map. Won't touch on this now, I'll just give you a sneak peek. But we'll go through the Greeks heat map, how to use this, what it shows. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the video.